Uh,
So now we
hello,
wait.
hello, hello, hello. Waiting for everything to pop up.
Live.
All right, there
Live?
is
Come on. It's
Twitch.
live.
What is up, guys? What is up? What is up? What is up?
All right. We got somebody. There it is. We're live. Get on my phone.
All right, what's up, everyone? We're going to give everyone a few minutes to roll in here before we start talking about character Flux LoRa's and wrapping up this 3-part LoRa training Flux series that we have been doing with my man KFTIGER.
Hey, Tyler. It's been a month, eh?
It has. It has. Is that what we? Yeah,
Yeah.
we've done this over the course of a month, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's been. I mean, busy for me, but I know it must have been busy for you with all the cosmetics and everything you had to make for Halloween, eh?
Every day making
Yeah.
cosmetics every day.
I know we kind of pre-stream talked about it, but while we wait for people to come in, like, were there any surprises with the cosmetics? Any ones you thought did really well, or ones, you know?
I was really hurt that the Jason one we made on stream didn't sell better than it did.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. That one Jason was special to me, especially with the stabby stabs.
If it was 666 buzz, I would have got it. Yeah.
Someone asked when hourly November cosmetics.
Thanksgiving's coming for you
Yeah,
Americans.
we'll definitely have some cool Thanksgiving ones, but we're gonna aside from that, we're gonna take a little break until Christmas time.
No kidding. Can I get like a turkey avatar frame?
Vextra,
Or
too much,
flames?
too much gore. Fair play. You know, and I thought it would do well because a number of people asked for more maturely themed cosmetics, but I have a feeling that is actually the louder minority of people based on the things that sold the best. So
Yeah, you can just
yeah,
tweak that Jason one to carve a turkey. That's a good idea.
Jason carving the turkey. That is actually a goated idea. Um, okay, well, guys, we got almost 300 people in here, so let's get started. Welcome to a Civitai creator session. This is part 3 of our Flux LoRa training basics, beginners, best
Yeah.
practices guide
Here's
on
what we've learned, how we can do it. We're not the best at this, but we know how to do it. We can do it.
it's all
And so
good.
can
And hey,
you.
if I can learn how to train a LoRa in our LoRa trainer based on the stuff that we just started talking about a couple weeks ago, so can you guys. And it is time for you to train your first LoRa if you have not already. And this is your sign to do so. Real quick, before we get rolling, let me show you guys a couple things I got from the Cyberbike LoRa that I was just testing before
And while
we
you do
started
that,
going. Yeah,
I'll crack open the beer of the third stream, thanks to the two sponsors of this one.
perfect. So, we got a couple good examples of the Cyberbike LoRa that we trained yesterday with that data set. So here we got Shrek making it happen, and then we got Akira Shrek, which I think he looks pretty badass in the Akira anime style. Then we got Trump on his way home from that New York rally on his Cyberbike. Then we got Bowser.
Princess Peach is behind him. You just can't see her because he's massive.
Yeah, but then we were able to get Bowser and
There
Peach.
she is.
Then we were able to get Bowser and Peach in more of the anime style. And boom, I think that's pretty. It came out pretty good. It didn't play very nicely with the LoRa of myself. I was trying to put myself on the bike, but my LoRa and it were clashing. So I think I just got to figure out the right balancing numbers. But either way, I would say great success on that from yesterday. So I'll be posting that LoRa on the site later today, along with the Murakami teddy bear LoRa for you guys to play with. But we are not here to talk about me. We are going to get started with this character Flux guide. So KF, where do you think we should start with this?
Can we put it to a poll? Like, both of us have trained a character for this stream, and both are very different. But we used Flux for both, and I believe we both used the on-site trainer. Like, I made one of my cat, and Tyler made one of himself. Which would you like to see? First vote wins? I don't know. Because we can't wait.
Because we'll be showing you guys the data sets and just kind of like going through from the beginning so you guys can have a good idea of like what we fed it versus what we got back. And also we'll talk about settings and all that kind of stuff.
And this one's a little different in that I believe we've trained them both and launched them both. So there's not as much of a going through. Tyler Cat. Tyler, your name came first.
No, let's do the cat first.
Sure.
You are the guest, so let's do the cat first. And yes, we
will. We will see both. We just want to see which one you want to see first.
Let's do it. So go ahead and share your screen, and I'll put that up there.
Just go entire screen. Share.
What has been funny about never mind. I'll talk about my LoRa when we get to it. But okay, let me see. I think this is easier for everyone to see like this. Yeah.
And I've brought my screen resolution down to 1080p in order for you to see this, but it's brutal for me to sit here with a 32-inch 4K OLED at 1080p just for this stream. It's quite painful. There's a chat has an echo delay. No. So my LoRa that I've made a few character LoRas. I haven't made nearly as many characters as I have concepts or styles, but Flux is quite easy to train a character in and quite forgiving, even when you're making, somewhat abstract types of characters. I've made both my dog and my cat into Flux LoRas now. This one I launched a couple months ago. Well, 2 months of my dog. Some pictures of her.
Hey, wait, KF, real quick. Is anyone else other than Camo getting an echo from us, or does our audio sound fine for you guys? Because I got my headset on. He has his headset on. I don't hear an echo from his side. How is the audio doing for?
There's no screen share audio. Audio's okay. All right. Audio's okay. Clear on my end.
All right, Camo, buddy. I think that's a you thing. Sorry.
Works on my computer. Yeah. So I decided for the purpose of this stream, since Tyler was going to do a more human character as himself, I decided to make my cat. So here's a couple of pictures of her, in real life, and I'll show you some of the training data that was used. And here's some of the pictures from the LoRa. I've launched this. You can find it on Civitai. I don't know if you want to put the link in.
Yeah. Throw me the link in the yes.
Perfect. Like I said, I'm using one screen, so there's going to be some throwing things around. But as you can see from those pictures, it turned out quite nice. Like, it does look like my cat. It's not just a generic tabby. The fur is right, but the face is really good. And she's actually sitting over there right now. I don't dare wake her up, but she's a little bit of a terrorist, so here's her with the fire. Typing her world domination plan. Ones like this are actually hard to tell if they're real or not. This one is a little easier to tell. But yeah, so that's how it turned out. I'll show you the training data if we want to get into that right away. This is all the training data. It's just a bunch of random pictures I took of my cat.
So how many images altogether did you put into the data set for her?
For this one, I used 52.
52, okay.
You don't need that many by any means. Very flattering pictures. But I'd say for a character LoRa, you probably need, 20 to 30 would be a good number. I just happened to be on my Google Photo Drive and copied that many. You can use up to 50 images in the auto tagger. So I'll go into that just to show.
Are all of your images the same size, or are you even paying attention to the sizes, or?
No, so long as they're above a certain resolution. Like, I believe for Flux, it's recommended anything 512 by 512 and above. So as you can see, there's a couple of square pictures, a couple of portrait, and a couple of landscapes. Flux is, like I said, quite forgiving. I've made some SDXL character models before, and that gets a little more challenging because, so when you're training something like this, you'd have to say, this is a picture from above, or from side, open mouth, tongue, everything like that. Flux actually does away with most of that for you. I'm just going to show in the trainer, we'll do a fake. See if it'll train it on caption. I'll throw a couple of pictures in. Because I train my character LoRa's, or pretty much every LoRa for Flux now, with captioning. So I've added 8 pictures in here. And if I'm going too fast, feel free to slow me down, or Tyler if there's any questions.
Got it.
But so I just use the auto label. I know a lot of people use Joy Caption, which is good, but unless you have a batch tool to run it by, it's a little more difficult. So here I go into caption. I usually turn up the max tokens, and that just gives a bigger description if possible. 150 I find to be a pretty good number.
Do you think the bigger descriptions are better?
I find it easier to cut back than it is to add. So I've had ones where, I've used the default 100, and then it won't pick up something like the background, or it won't pick up a detail I thought was crucial. So I found, I've used 200, 250, and often that's too much because it might describe the drywall. But 150 seems to be a fairly good number because it usually picks up enough. And you can cut it back if you need to, but also, Flux doesn't mind too much if there's too many details. So we'll see how long that takes. I didn't put too many in, and auto labeler seems to be alive. Okay. So now we've got some captions on pictures. You can see photograph of a fluffy long-haired tabby cat. Fluffy long-haired cat. Fluffy long-haired cat. So usually what I do at this point with the characters, look for those trends in the text. Domestic cat with long-haired coat. Domestic cat likely a Maine Coon. Fluffy cat. So for me, I'd find something like fluffy long-haired tabby cat, and I'd consider that my go-to.
So here's a good question. I just put it up on the screen right there, if you want to take a stab at that.
What's the question? If you can read it.
Is having certain percentage of training image sizes and shapes needed to have the LoRa produce better multi-size generations after training? So like, for example, if we give it 16:9 images that are landscaped as well as vertical images, will it then do better creating the image with the LoRa in those different aspect ratios? Is that a consideration?
For Flux, I say no. For SDXL Pony SD 1.5, it definitely affects more by having, if you had only widescreen shots of something in SDXL, and then you tried to make something portrait, you might get weird results. But Flux actually picks things up. I've thrown some of the weirdest concepts and some of the weirdest things at it, and it hasn't had any issues. With this training set for my cat, you can see there's just kind of a crazy variety of stuff. There's other ones I've done that have just been portrait or just been landscape, and it's had no issue. So I'd say it's a non-issue unless you're in an extreme. If you made something like 100 wide by 1,000 tall and all the pictures were like that, you might run into issues. But if you're doing that, there might be something else going on. So really the only thing I'd do to this one, because I want it to be named after my cat. So all I'd do is go in and say fluffy long-haired tabby cat, named Ali. And I'd probably named, and then I'd copy that in and just start adding that to all the ones. Long-haired cat named Ali. Fluffy long-haired cat named Ali. And whether or not it actually does anything with that, I can't tell you for sure. But in my testing, like I go through and put in to training some quite detailed, pictures like this and detailed captions. And then what I like to do is take the model that comes out of it and start cutting that down. So I might start with the tag, the fluffy long-haired cat, and then see how that looks, and then maybe cut out long-haired, make it just fluffy cat, and see what kind of picture turns up. If it still looks like the same thing, then I know it's still good with the word alley. And I know with yours, Tyler, you put your tag at the start, and I think that works too. It's
Yeah.
probably a little easier that way.
I wonder if there's like a material difference between doing it one way versus the other.
Yeah. And, like Tyler pointed out at the start of this, neither him or I are experts on this, but, we've done some, we found good results, we want to share them through this stream. Flux is very powerful and quite easy to use, a little expensive and takes some good hardware to render pictures afterwards. But, from this one of my cat as an example, and I can show some of the other ones I've done too, like just with these pictures, which is overkill for the amount of pictures, and going in through just making sure it had the name,
So
the cat alley.
we got a question right here. Do you think that starting by manually putting an opening phrase like this tabby fluffy cat and then append auto caption is a good workflow for Flux LoRa's?
It's tough to say scientifically because I have absolutely no basis on that. I have found with Flux, it tends to prioritize, the text you put towards the start of the prompt more than towards the end. So, like, if you're doing something with text in a prompt, I found better results generally by putting what the text is going to be early on, and then the details of the scene afterwards. So, like, for mine, I did put it pretty early on in each one of these. So, long-haired cat named Ali, or long-haired cat named Ali. They've all been pretty close, where it just says the high-resolution photo of a long-haired cat named Ali. So they're all pretty early on in it. I think you may run into more difficulties if you put her name in at the end of it. But I haven't done enough training to try that. I wanted to make sure this one worked.
So someone asked if we have hardware recommendations for running Flux. Flux is I think I tend to forget because I do have a 4090 that Flux is a pretty hefty model. However, there are workflows on Civitai that people have created to allow you to run Flux on, I think, as little as 8 gigabytes of VRAM.
Yeah, like I've got a 3090, so I've got the same 24 gigs of VRAM, so I haven't suffered too much in that way. But I think for base Flux without optimizations, the minimum you need is 16 gigs. But like you mentioned, Tyler, there are some optimized versions with maybe less precision that can run on 8 or 12. So that would, I'd recommend checking out some of the education, like the articles people have posted on the site as well. Join the Discord if I can plug the Discord.
Of course.
Because there's people in like the AI help and the general chat that are running this on lower end video cards.
There you go.
Extra Tiger there says 6 gigs of VRAM. So that's 1/4 of what my card is, and it works.
Yeah, man. Unless you're doing video generation, I think you can really, you can get away with a lot with a pretty modestly priced setup for just images.
Yeah. 8 gigs. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. Like one of the recommendations for this stream as well, like I said, either Tyler or I are experts on this one. Characters are definitely the ones I've done the least of, but there's a huge community of people that know a lot more than us. This is kind of, hey, I want to make my first Flux character LoRA. What do I do? Like, I've got a cat or a dog I want to make a model of. This should hopefully be the stream for that.
Yeah, and so I put the link to his cat Laura in the chat. I'll put it in one more time, and hopefully you guys can go fill up the gallery with some cool images of his cat, because it does look like it produces really great photos. I especially love the one right there with the hat on holding the gun. Like, I
Yeah,
think that's an awesome picture.
I had to put that one as the gallery feature just because of how well that turned out. Because it got all the prompt information, like, well, like the photograph of a fluffy, medium-sized cat named Allie, the mottled coat featuring dark brown black tabby straps. So this is the term I ended up liking the most out of it. So I've used that as kind of the stock phrase I can copy in that'll make sure it looks like her. Holding a gun, wearing a black baseball cap, sunglasses, and a gold chain with a golden cat head. Kind of didn't get that part, but the rest. But
Dude,
so after that training, with using that prompt or using her name in there, went through the training, picked the epic I liked the most, and these are the two prompts that I found worked the best. I can get away with just saying a fluffy cat named Allie. It'll work, but sometimes not perfectly. But if I use fluffy medium-sized cat named Allie with a blah, 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 that works about 95% of the time.
yeah, man, it came out
That's,
really good.
and I mean, if we want to, we can make something right now with her just to show. What should she do? Any idea there?
I have an idea. Wait, let me go. I'm gonna go to your model page real
Okay,
quick.
you can do it.
I'm going to do it, and we'll just see how it comes out. And then we will jump into mine, and I'll show you guys the data set that I used to train the LoRa on myself, because my LoRa actually came out very flexible. And I've really liked the results. So hopefully it'll help you guys if you want to train a character LoRa on yourself or just on someone else and you had no experience, because I didn't have any experience. But I was just looking at the gallery for my LoRa, because I haven't looked at it since yesterday, and I saw that a bunch of you guys added some really, really funny photos. So thank you guys. I'm gonna go through and tip everyone some buzz that threw that in. But okay, here we're going to.
Here's some examples. Oh no, have you taken over yet?
I will in just a second.
Okay, here's some examples that people have made, including myself, of my cat. Feel free to jump in, try it out, make some funny things. There's already been some really good ones posted. Like I made, pointing out my own, but I used my album art for Flux model with my cat model. It turned out really nice.
Boom, 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 boom. All right, all right, all right, all right. A giant fat cat named Allie.
Alley Cat is the band name. It's also the name of a beer. It's a good beer. I shouldn't know that. Looking at the questions.
And yes, I will share the settings. I will share the settings for the Cyberbike LoRa yesterday.
Did see one question. Are you running FP8 weight or default? I'm running default FP16 LoRa, and I'm using, or like with LoRa enabled, and I'm using Forge for my local. So yeah, here's a picture of Allie sitting on a kitchen chair with milk.
All right, let me get my screen all ready for this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so I'm gonna switch over to my screen, and bam. All right, so guys, my LoRa that I trained on myself, and I think I got really lucky because I use rapid training on mine, but then I also trained it to longer with the settings and basically got the same results. And so I'll go through the settings with you guys. But for anyone who was not aware, let me drop the link to my LoRa one more time. And my data set, I just basically ran through a bunch of images from my Facebook in all different types of scenarios because I wanted myself in just like all kinds of different environments and poses so that it would be really flexible in where it could put me. So that was kind of like my main consideration when I was looking for when I was going through and selecting the images to use was like I want it to clearly be me and just I want it to be as diverse as possible because I saw with the first LoRa that Pixel Pusher trained of me, he literally just took a bunch of screenshots from a YouTube video from like a Civitai stream. And so his LoRa, while it captured me really well, it was incapable of putting me anywhere except for here at my desk. And no matter what you prompted in the background, my desk and my speakers and all the stuff that's like in the background of the videos would always be there. So the environments and the backgrounds are super, super important. So
So did
altogether, go on.
curious, did you do any cropping of the photos or any editing, or did you just take them from your
Nope.
source? And
Nope. I literally
that's a
just
good
pulled.
question for Flux too, because I know with SDXL you really have to take out anything extra. Like if there's a second character or something, you have to make sure they're out. But Flux is a little nicer with that.
Yeah, no, I literally just pulled these from my Facebook. I didn't do any editing. They're all kinds of different aspect ratios. They were landscape, they were portrait, they were squares, they were all kinds of different images. And some of these pictures were from like years ago. So it's just like, yeah. And altogether, I only used 16 images of myself.
That's pretty small, yeah.
So 16 images of myself, and I do have the data set. I did not make the data set public just because they're like images of me from my Facebook. So I deleted the data set from there. But I will show you guys. Oh, real quick. There's your there's the Buzz
It's a
Caddy.
nice beer gut. Yeah. Might need a little more strength on the cat.
There we go.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Oh man, that prompt is undefeated. I'm telling you.
And if anybody wants the training data set for my cat one, I didn't end up putting it on the LoRa, but I put up an article on Civit to promote the stream. Maybe I'll just link it here. But it has the data set attached to that post. 30 of the pictures for that.
All right, boom. Let me link that to everyone real quick.
It's on the right-hand side there under attachments. So if you're interested in how the cat was tagged, it's right there.
So, okay, we'll call this one JBoog's mockup. We're going to select character in the LoRa trainer. And you go to next. Yes. And then we drop the dataset zip file into here. And what I did before training this was I went in, I changed just the caption because it's Flux, and I typed in JBoogs, comma, and then I literally just went through and pasted this in all the images. And yes, guys, I included some shirtless images from my gym rat days because I wanted to be able to create really intense muscular images of myself every now and then as like superheroes and stuff. So don't judge me. You do it too. So then after I put the J Boogs and the comma in there, and yes, Engelstein, exactly.
Nostalgia. Yeah.
Exactly. We all want to go back to our early 20s at some point. um, but so notice too that I also got this little message in the bottom corner that said that 3 images got resized down, and that's totally fine. So I just ignored that. I didn't. I just let it do. I just let it do its thing. I put the J Boogs at the beginning of all of those because what I want to do too, since I like mixing my LoRa with other LoRa's, is I put the J Boogs, which technically is like the trigger word, if you will, because it's in every single image. Um, I put the J Boogs in parentheses. Maybe that doesn't do anything. Maybe it does, but I've noticed that when I do that, I'm able to get my likeness to come through much stronger when I'm mixing it with other LoRa's. So we did that. Then I do the auto label and I append it. I kept the max tokens at 100, but going forward, I'll probably try 150 just for best practice and to check it out.
Don't
Um,
take my word for it. Take Clippy's word for it.
well, so far, everything that KF has recommended is what has worked for me in doing these LoRa's. So everything that he recommended in the first stream we did for what was that? The style, right?
Yeah,
Style was
sorry,
the
the
first
style
stream.
one, which was using tags. So, like, Flux is very forgiving. And I will say there's another thing with Flux, and that I think Tyler and I have both noticed, and maybe others who have tried using multiple lures at the same time, is often if you're trying to do like 2 character lures in the same one, or a vehicle and a character, Flux often kind of has the lures fight against each other. So sometimes you have to balance out the weights and try, weighing one less than the other or the other way around, because sometimes you might just get a mix of the same person. Or
Real quick, since Feldu called it out, if you guys are playing with the lore of me and trying to put stuff in the gallery, it's probably best that you guys don't put shirtless images of me in there because you might get TOS pulls because it might consider me a shirtless male celebrity, quote unquote. I didn't say it, the AI did. So, but if you didn't get the TOS pull, then don't worry about it. But just be aware of that. And then, so someone asked, "Do you think it matters if you put the word first?" Here's my train of thought. Typically, with all prompts, the order in which you write your prompt matters, and the phrases or the words at the beginning of the prompt usually get more priority than the ones at the end of the prompt. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking about, okay, JBoogs is in every image at the beginning of the prompt. If it's trained like that, when I go to make the image afterwards with the LoRa, if that's the first word at the very beginning of the prompt, it's just going like I'm really telling it this is the character. In my mind, that makes sense. Maybe someone who's much smarter than me can tell me if that's actually doing anything.
And for my curiosity, the way I do the one for him is to do it like my cat and say, have it do the auto tag, auto caption, and then look for a place to put the name in, saying, description of who it is, named J Boogs. I'm curious if that would change it in Flux. I don't think it would have that much effect, but I also don't have thousands of buzz to throw at that. So, and yes, I do recommend everybody sends the Cosmic Crafter 10 buzz after they send me 40.
Okay, so we're gonna click through this and I'll show you guys, I'll refresh you guys on the settings I learned from KF that I used for the LoRa, which are the same settings that I used for the Akira Cyberbike, as well as my other 2 character LoRas, which both came out really well. And just to show you guys what I mean by
SD
really well.
3.5 is there, eh? That's new.
Yes, we just added SD 3.5 LoRa training. So I wanted to show you guys this because this character I think came out really really good, man. This cause figure. So if you guys are familiar with this figure, you would immediately recognize this, and it captured the figure super well, and it followed my prompt to a T. And then I was even able to turn him all black, wearing a thick gold chain with the Supreme logo on his chest, and it kept the character perfect. And then I mixed it with this pixel art retro LoRa, and it fully pixelated him, and same character, kept the Supreme logo, sitting on a pile of money, thick gold chain. um and then same thing when I then wanted to set him on fire and have a fisheye shot from the bottom angle. And then I mixed him with this organic sauce LoRa that was kind of like this hand drawn artsy thing, and it did really well. So these are the exact settings I used for that. So we're not going to use rapid training because we want to change our training parameters. And the training parameters that KF taught us from the beginning, and tell me if I get any of these wrong, but this is what I used. I turned the epochs up until the steps hit about 1100, which usually falls into 22 epochs. And like KF recommended in that first stream, I have found that the best epoch is usually somewhere between 17 and 22.
Yeah, I'd say that's same for my cases. Like, usually, I mean, what is it, 2,000 buzz for a Flux LoRa to train by default. If you go a little too high in the steps or epics, then it will charge you more. So basically, finding that point just before it starts charging more for me works. And often, yeah, like you find 17, sometimes even 12, or maybe it's a style when you're training and the style catches on right away, you might use 5 as the right
I
epic.
think I think almost for all of them, the winning one has been either like 17 or 19
Mm-hmm.
for all the ones I've trained so far. Jib says that he's gone up to 3,000 steps and had good results. So just goes to show that like there's no one size fits all.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we can make kind of general parameters that we can play within to get good, consistent results.
Yeah. And that's whenever I see somebody say they've done something in 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 steps, you know, all the best. I have no idea how to get that point without it looking like shit. Anything I find if I go beyond 1,500, 2,000 steps, it starts looking the same. So if you have different settings or everything that works, awesome. That's, part of it is that there is no one perfect, way through.
So Permados asked if more epochs cost more buzz. So at 22 epochs, it's 2,000 buzz. At 5 epochs, it's 2,000 buzz. So no, it's I think more buzz. The amount of buzz goes up if your data set is really large. I think the more processing on the data set it has to do is what really will drive the cost of the LoRa up.
Yeah. It depends on how many images you put in as well, how many epics you need to go through. Like if you put 500 pictures in, you probably only need, 10 epics to hit that 1,000, 1,100 steps. But if you've got 19 pictures, you probably need more.
Gabriel, so this is 2,000 buzz. It is 2,000 buzz. If you turn on high priority, it adds another 200 buzz. So it's about $2.25
Yeah.
to
The more
train
steps, the more it costs.
Yes. So, but there's no price difference between 5 epochs and 22 epochs. So,
But if you go to 25 or some of that, probably goes up a bit. Oh no, still hasn't yet.
nope. Boom.
So I
So
mean, you can The other strategy is just go to the max before it starts charging you more. Because if you want a lower one, just use the lower one.
Gotcha. So 22 epochs. I didn't change the resolution. I didn't change the number of repeats or the training batch size. I did check I turned keep tokens to 1 because I have the trigger word at
I'm
the
not sure
beginning.
how much that works in Flux, but I still use it.
And I don't know what it does, but KFTIGER said turn flip augmentation on, so I did that.
There's a better description of it, but effectively it takes each picture and it flips it for each epic as well. So, like if you're using something or training something that needs to face one way or the other, you wouldn't want to use that. Like, say, if somebody had something on one arm, a cast or something like that, then you want to make sure the right arm was that one. But if it's something like a style where it doesn't matter which direction the picture faces, or in your case, you might be okay with your picture, or with my cat, I'm fine with the pictures facing one way or the other. Like, so an example would be if you had one facial feature like a mole or a scar or something on one side of your face, you might not want to do flip aug.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and if you have text on your images, don't mirror it either, because then you'll get backwards text.
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
A man in front of a mirror.
it did pretty good with mine, but everyone is saying don't, so I'd say probably don't unless the
For yourself,
images are symmetrical.
A cat matters a little less, but I think a person would probably matter more.
Yeah, no, good.
I haven't trained people. I've trained Clippy. That's what I've trained.
Epitus, good clip, and I mean good suggestion and good call out. Thank you. I was looking at Clippy.
Good Clippy.
And that's all I changed for these LoRa's, man. Some people told me that, and I mentioned this yesterday, that if you turn network dim up to 4, or if you just make it higher, it's able to get more of the information into the LoRa, therefore increasing the LoRa size.
Yeah, puts more learning data into it. 2 seems to be pretty good for smaller things like characters, vehicles, stuff like that. For themes, I usually bump it up a little more because I feel there's more data to be encapsulated in that. But I haven't seen a guide on any sort of specific, hey, here's the right answer. That's usually what I wait for until I know. And yeah, the shuffle tags doesn't apply in Flux.
Yeah,
it reads it all. Even if you use it as tags, it still reads it as natural text.
Yeah, so shuffle tags won't make a difference in Flux. That will be for the other base models. But that's it, man. Aside from turning the epics up to 22 and
8 dim, 16 alpha for characters, that would work. Like, I haven't seen any right answer or, hey, I've tried this at 2, 4, 6, 8, and here's the best answer yet. And now we've got SD 3.5, so who knows?
So this question right here, won't the resolution being 512 hurt quality isn't 1024 better? Is training the resolution at 1024 instead of 512, will that actually make the LoRa better?
Depends. If you've tried any of my LoRa's and you think they're okay, then it doesn't matter. I have not trained it on anything more in Flux. Like, I have tried training ones at 1024 in Flux, and I haven't seen any difference, in quality. Flux manages to pick things up much better at lower resolution as well. When it does its training images, they come out at 512 as well. So there's kind of 2 trains of thought on that. With SDXL Pony, absolutely, the higher resolution impacted your results a lot. But with Flux, even though I put those pictures of my cat in that were taken out of phone at 4,000 whatever resolution, training them at 512, they still came out very good.
Well,
I did see a question on, I see Ornstein there, who's also Shrek Man on the site. who was asking about multi-character training. I did say in the comment it's kind of a more basic training session. Me or Tyler, I have done multi-character training in Flux. I'm not sure how it works. Maybe somebody else is a guide.
So just for science sake, I am actually going to train this LoRa again using the suggestions that people have made. So I'm going to train it again at 22 epics with a resolution of 1024 with the network dim set to 8 and the alpha to 16. So I am going to train that again with the same data set. The cost of it went up to 2,600 buzz as opposed to 2,000. And we will see how that turns out when it does. There are a couple style LoRas I trained that I haven't released. That
you have more in the backlog than I do right now.
I don't even know that I want to show them on stream just because I don't want any smoke from the artist. But we are going to release the Murakami Bear. So
and the other thing with these Flux training examples, like the ones you have there, they look okay, but they only come out a certain resolution. Once you use it in local or on the on-site generator, you can put it to whatever resolution you want, and they look good. Yeah, you're almost a bazillionaire there. A buzz millionaire?
It's
oh, we're live.
It's part of the job. Part of the job. All the stuff that you guys see me making for Civitai, I use the generator for most of the time.
Yeah, and I sent you a link, but that picture I made of my cat earlier turned out quite good. That somebody requested of a wizard alley smoking a pipe.
Oh, sick! Let's see it.
Bazillionaire. Yeah. So that was the requested prompt, and it turned out
awesome.
Quite good.
Hey, let's see the gallery.
Maybe there's some more posts now. Are they sorted by old? Oh, there's a couple new ones. Oh, the gym cat.
Ingleseen. I love it.
Yeah, we see that.
Dude, this one is awesome. Here, you know what? We're gonna take this one right here. We're gonna take that one. Boom, and we are going to throw that into Minimax real quick.
Sweet.
And I don't even think this one needs a prompt. I think it's just gonna know.
Hopefully picks it up. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good. No, dude, the cat LoRa came out awesome. These are, if only the cat could see and understand what is going on here.
I think she's still upset with me because I never asked for her rights. She's sleeping over there.
I would be interested to see real quick what your cat LoRa does if I mix it with Cyberbike.
Yeah, so curious if it'll overpower the bike or.
So let's see it real quick.
Yeah, I think with the cat one I used for dim. The cat, I mean, in cat years, she's about 70? How many years is 1 year for a cat? 7?
Let's say Allie, fluffy, medium size, is riding a... Okay, so we're just going to use this exact same prompt, and let's see if it can put the cat on the Cyberbike. It put Pikachu on the Cyberbike.
That worked.
Pretty good. Let's see. I have a feeling this is going to be either really good or really bad.
One or the other. No,
I don't hate it.
No, it's not awful. What strength do you have the cat at? Just one?
But wait, let's see how the upscaled one comes out real quick.
Yeah, that's a bit more accurate. It's good. It's got the paws. It doesn't have weird hands or something.
Yeah,
Old ass cat. Yeah, she's pretty old, eh?
let's even try turning Allie down to 0.8.
Yeah. Then might get more generic cat, but it might work better with the bike.
Engelstein said I expected cat bike. Or no, Ornstein.
Ornstein and Engelstein.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. Okay, I'm gonna publish the Cyberbike LoRa for you guys to mess with too. Oh no,
That one not so much.
yeah, that one not so much. Allie definitely has to be at the higher strength.
Yeah.
For that to work out. I want to see Allie lifting some weights. But yeah, guys, that is basically it. Like it's really not difficult. It's either, $2 and some change to train your first character LoRa, or you just go react to a bunch of people's stuff and earn yourself some buzz and make your LoRa that way. But it's pretty nice being able to have these things to make exactly what you want. And then even with all these video models now, just having the ability to animate everything.
Yeah. So in the case of pets, I mean, instead of trying to struggle to put some sort of Halloween costume on my cat, now I can just AI generate a Halloween costume on her and not get scratched. You can do the same with your dog and not get, called for animal abuse. You want me back on stream, huh, Engelstein?
There we go.
Hey.
There we go.
Oof. Oh, through the neck. She doesn't have very good form. It's got the motion good. It's just the clipping part. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear. I'll send this. I'll send this to you real quick.
Sweet.
Dude, I love it. I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, it looks quite like her. Catnip hitting hard. Thanks.
Isn't it crazy how well these things work?
Yeah, and all the tools work together nicely too. I mean, Flux is something. Well, I mean, even just XDXL and how optimized that was over time, and then Flux now, and I mean, we'll see Flux 1.1 dev or whatever, and then we'll see Stable Diffusion. I mean, now getting better. It's kind of a fun time for this.
Yeah, man. So
now,
are you gonna try to train some 3.5 LoRa's?
I'll look into it. I'm not being too early on about that one. Flux has been good. I feel like Stable Diffusion is quite early in the stages. Like, I think it costs 80 or 90 buzz to generate one picture on site right now. And, it's a struggle enough, for people to generate on site using Flux because of how intensive that is. So I've actually gone back to making a few, like, SDXL type models just because people will actually use it on site. So I'm excited to see what comes from it. I just don't think we're quite there yet.
Gotcha.
But I might train something. I've got some buzz. Or if people want to send me buzz, then I'll have more reason to.
Boom. Posted.
Nice. That's 200 buzz, I think. Thanks for that.
Cool. Well, guys, I think that kind of just about wraps us up. I want to see what the cat looks like with the cake real quick, but yeah, hopefully like we said, we're not professional LoRa trainers by any means, but those tips should be enough to get you guys going on training a good character LoRa if you haven't yet, if you're just trying to train your first one.
If there's any other questions in chat, put them in now. Is there anything we can answer? Anything, Tyler, about his workout regimen?
I think we need Allie's workout regimen.
Yeah, the no clip workout regimen.
So okay, real quick,
What beer is that?
can we clarify the flip augmentation thing one more time for folks who didn't quite get that? So you only want to use it if there is something in the image that is symmetrical or in the images, right?
Yeah. So I'd use it less for characters. I'd use it more for things like themes, where you're just trying to get the general sense of what the picture is or a concept. Themes or concepts, I'd use flip augmentation more often because, with a theme, like say that picture of the alien there, if it isn't a model about the alien itself, if it's about the look and feel of the picture, you can flip that all the time. But if you're
Gotcha.
trying to train a model of how that alien looks, then you wouldn't want to flip augmentation because maybe it's got unique features on one side or the other.
Okay,
So, like maybe one
understood.
arm's bigger, maybe it's got a scar on one side.
So here's the question. Let's say there's 90 that are symmetrical and there's 7 or so that aren't. I don't know that would apply if we're talking about like a feature on the person.
The shoe size is 11. That's very important information. And the beer is Parallel 49's Magnificent Mangos. So, it's a ghost beer, mango flavored.
So guys, here is something else that I was kind of messing around with a little. I've been messing around with taking like very real locations. So like this is a really well-known kind of like photogenic place in Hawaii that people here would recognize, and I've been in painting characters and different things into these real locations and then taking that in painted picture and throwing it into the video models to try to create like these surreal things in places where people recognize. And it's pretty cool how well it kind of like stuck the character and kept the location exactly what it was.
With the water moving and everything. Anybody else lose audio? And no, Clippy's not the only one I have here. I also have this one.
Oh, is our audio okay? Our audio should be fine.
Bruh, spazzing out.
Okay, let's see. Bacon Alley Cat. Oh, dude, I didn't even realize them. I didn't even realize the
There's
mice.
the mouse.
Dude, that's
He's
crazy.
right about the Ratatouille.
That's crazy.
Neither of us saw that there.
Dude. And it grabs the cake and takes the bite. That's crazy. And the mice are just kind of like helping.
The weirdest thing is the spatula.
Cake suppresses hunger for rats and cats. Confirmed. Exactly.
I could go for some cake right now.
Dude,
maybe not rat cake.
Mini Max and Kling, man. These two things are actually insane.
I've tried using Kling, but every time it just takes 20 hours and they say it failed. So maybe you need to pay for it, but I haven't.
This was an image I just randomly pulled out of the Civic gallery because we thought it was cute. And I mean, yeah, it's wild, dude. Okay. Anyways, guys, I think that just about wraps us up for today. That way this video is not any more than an hour for folks that want to watch this on YouTube and kind of get to the meat and potatoes of it.
Drop my profile link again. Oh, I guess I can't in that chat, but
yes.
If you ever have any questions on this stuff, feel free to message me on there, or happy to see anything you put together with the cat, with Ali, Laura, or any of the others. But yeah.
make sure you guys go follow KF on Civitai. He is always putting out really awesome quality LoRa's of all different styles. And if you haven't, you should go dig through his gallery because there is a lot of really dope stuff there. KF, dude, thank you so much for doing this whole series with us. I think I'm going to go back and put all 3 of these videos in their own little playlist on YouTube. So it's just like the Flux training on Civitai.
ABC, yeah.
And
yeah, it's been fun.
man.
And I mean, if there's another reason to come back on sometime, and I mean, if the people demand it, maybe we'll do another one.
I think we'll just come back on and we'll do some like what are the most popular LoRa's of the week, and then we run through and we test them in all different kinds of scenarios.
It'll be fun. We can just have a chill, shoot the shit kind of stream.
All right,
cut that word out. Yeah.
Link again. Okay, so guys, if you want to go use the Alley Cat LoRa, there is KFTIGER's Civitai profile link. Make sure you give him a follow, throw some buzz at him. He puts in a lot of work and does a lot for the community on the site. So, KF, thank you so much once again. And let me just double check who I got coming on next week for you guys. Guys, next week we will be joined by Oh, okay. So if you guys remember the roundtable that we had with the Stevens Institute tech folks, Jonah King is going to be joining us. I know a lot of people knew who he was and really thought the stuff that he made was really cool. So I reached out to him after that stream, and he's going to be coming on next week, and we're going to be talking about all the crazy cool stuff he does because he does a lot of really unique things with AI. So Jonah King is going to be joining us next week at 3 p.m. Pacific. And then we're going to have a special schedule for the following week of November 11th, because after that, I'm actually going to be gone from the 14th to the 25th. So we're going to be moving my 2 streams that week back to that Tuesday and Wednesday. That way we only miss 1 week's worth of streams for me. But I'll remind you guys of that next week.
Taking some time off, are you?
No, technically I'm still going to be working, but I am going to be filming a breakdancing thing in LA. But sweet. I'm taking my laptop and still doing all the Civitai stuff, but we just got to shuffle the streams around. Fair again. Enough. So, Aerotaku, maybe we can do that that week before I go. So we will talk about it. Guys, my name is Tyler, aka jboogs.creative. This is KFTIGER. Go follow him on Civitai. His link is in the chat. Follow us at Hello Civitai across all of our platforms. We are so close to 20,000 subs on YouTube. We're close to 4,000 subscribers on Twitch, and we're close to 20,000 on Instagram. It's been a crazy year. It all basically started between 0 and 400 when Justin brought me on the team. And I'm really stoked with how we have grown this thing and with everything that Ali and I have done on Twitch. So we'll catch you guys on Monday for Ali's stream. Happy Halloween. Don't get a stomachache from all the candy.
Too late.
All that kind of stuff. Too late. All right, KF, thank you once again. We're going to figure out another stream to bring you on. Maybe we'll bring you back for the Relaxed Community stream, and we'll just test a bunch of LoRa's and show people how things are.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks for having me on, and it's been fun. And hopefully people can, I've received some feedback from the other 2 streams. It's nice to know people have been watching them and getting stuff out of them and making their LoRa's. Hopefully this helps too.
Guys, we appreciate you all. Civitai.com. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you guys on Monday.
Cheers all.